All right, Clean Live here now. Everything you want to see. Yes. Okay, now what do we have? What do we have? What do we have? I think first I'll play a clip. This is just a hodgepodge show put together. My regular show is going to come back. I'm going to change it from being the Mr. Clean show to the Clean Universe. So, watch it. And so I'm wanting people to call in and say what they want to see on the new show. That's one thing. Maybe make comments on the clips I'm going to play. Here's the call-in number. So call in when you get a chance and tell me what you want to see. Because if not, I'm going to play something you don't want to see. No. Everything you're going to want to see, believe me. So I think I will start out with a clip. I went out to Barbara Lifton. My comeback piece would be like film the hometown meeting, the town hall meeting. And, oh no, I shut down the media player. Anyway, it'll be a second before it comes back up. So I'm going out to Barbara Lifton, going to be a good public service, film the town hall meeting, but it was going to be kind of boring, you know. I'd get some good exciting part of me interviewing people as I go in, then blah, 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 Barbara Lifton talking, blah, 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 people expressing their opinions. Then it would be exciting again as people come out and I interview them. But Barbara helped us out. She didn't want us to film, and it was great, I tell you. So, if I can get this clip coming up, I will be able to show it to you. And it was amazing. Amazing, I tell you. Now it's coming up with only one folder. There we go. I think we got it. Wait, yeah. Enter. Sorry. Call in while I figure this out. Come on, people, call in. Maybe Farmer Dan, if he's listening. Okay, I think I got the clip up. Here we go. In fact, we want to interview. Are you rolling? No. All right, Mr. Clean is back on the scene. I'm out of the hospital, and Barbara Lifton's having a meeting here. Let's see if these folks had anything to say. What do you think about this town hall meeting?
I love town hall meetings. I think they're great.
Cool. Ever been to one before?
I have never been to one before in my life.
Wow, a first time experience. I think this is my first one too.
The political situation in this country has made me feel that I need to be proactive.
Right on, brother. That's what our nation is all about. The people saying what, I guess this guy's with the radio. I don't know. He's got a tripod. Here, let's see it this way. This lady's got something. No, she looks like she's shying away. How about this gentleman? What do you think about these town hall meetings?
They're fine. I think that's what we need to find out what's going on.
Yes!
Let people know, people in charge know what we need.
Yes! Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now, Lauren was saying that I should have, taken some time off because I had the flu, but it's like, I can't. Oh no, I won't try to sing now because But anyway, the people are filtering in. They're ready for it looks like they've got a cool table set up with, I don't know what this is. I guess this is the town hall. I guess there's a difference between town and city, huh? Right on. So we'll catch what Assemblywoman Lifton is saying. And oh no, she might be up there. I don't know how this is set up, but we'd never know. That's what the Mr. Clean show is all about. Here, this lady's got something to say. I know she does. What do you think about this?
I don't even know.
No, she doesn't want to. Okay.
Okay. Tell me, I need to know who you are. I don't allow constant video in my meetings.
You're Senator Left, or Assemblywoman Left? My name is Christopher Church.
Okay.
I'm Mr. Clean, a television personality that does.
Come on out, please. I want to. Yeah, I don't.
Okay, let's get this. She may be censoring us.
No, let's turn it off. Could we?
Why, you don't want
And
this?
I'm not agreeing to an on-camera interview. I want to discuss this with you.
Oh, but I thought this was open to the public, you know?
It is. Media is another matter about how we do media. And I'd like, you want to
Okay.
talk to me about it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess let's shut down.
Takes notes and is part of the meeting, but I don't want constant video and streaming. It's not fair to the people coming. I want free discussion, and many people won't do that with constant video going. I want people to feel free to talk and discuss, and I think that can shut down discussion. I don't want it.
Okay.
But, you know.
You know
if
more
you
about
want-
it.
understand why open meetings isn't applicable to yourself
It's
as
my
a
town hall
state
meeting. It's not a,
representative?
no,
And it
it's
would have
not
been
a-
good to
it's
have
not a
that
legislative
explanation.
meeting. If it, well, you should have called my office ahead to discuss this.
No, I mean, it would have been good to have you explain why we're shut down,
Okay,
because
well,
now I'm just going to hear the first part.
law, but this is not, this is my personal town hall meeting, my assembly. I don't have to abide by open meetings law in terms of all the media. I'm happy to have media, you know, journalists, they've done in the years past, but to have 2-hour video, sorry, I've got to call it back.
Oh, right, she shut us down, so we're not allowed in there, and it's odd because I thought these things were, her explanation, I think we got that on tape anyway. Her explanation of why kind of made sense a little bit, but it's horrible. Like, this gentleman was going to live stream for, is it the radio? Is it the radio? Or?
I do video for the Ithaca Voice, yeah.
Oh, cool, the Ithaca Voice. Oh, you did the thing, the article about Pegasus, didn't you?
I used to go to Pegasus, yeah, I love Pegasus, but yeah, so
Pegasus!
the public access television station, yeah.
Yes! So it looks like she's shutting us down completely. It's odd, it's odd.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait here and see what happens. Maybe something will change, but this was just an assignment that I had, and I've done other town halls with Tom Reed, the Democratic straw poll recently, another one, but
Yeah,
I'm not sure what's happening.
yeah. So I'll incorporate this piece into my regular show and get some other material, because this could have been a whole thing. Hey, you want to say anything? You got any cool stuff to say? Here, take charge for a minute. I've been not feeling well, so I want to just take time to breathe. He's got you.
I'm not really sure what to talk about, but I appreciate the opportunity to speak.
That's pretty cool.
The Ithaca Voice is great. I moved here from Rochester and was just making some student films, and have always respected and appreciated journalism. And so I started making videos for the Ithaca Voice in April. And before that, didn't really have an opportunity, or I mean, I didn't really involve myself as much in the community as I should have, but since I started working for them, it's been an incredible experience just being like thrust into the community events every single week, and I really enjoy it. So yeah.
Do you think this is really a hotbed?
I think yes.
Kind of laid back.
I think it's both of those things. Yeah, yeah.
Right on. Just 30 seconds. So we have an official explanation of why, and it seems to be, it seems reasonable.
Yeah. I'm always happy to have a journalist sit in on the meeting, but I don't like to see a lot of taping in a meeting because I think it makes the people there uncomfortable. I want people to feel really free to talk and ask any question, and I think it's inhibiting for people in a meeting. I'd be happy to talk to you for 2 hours on tape, and I'm happy to talk to media after, happy to have people in and take notes. But I don't like constant streaming of a meeting. I'm not subject to the open meetings laws. It's the whole public body, like the assembly itself is subject to. A public hearing can allow it, but not an individual member. I'm not subject to the open meetings law in this kind of setting.
Okay, yeah, that's reasonable.
Yeah.
Maybe at
And-
some point we could do it like
Yeah.
just a interview.
I'm happy to do that.
Like without
I'm happy to do that.
Yeah, I understand.
Of course,
that.
talk to people coming out, but only people that want to, and we're not forcing people to go on camera when they might want to ask. You know, there's sensitive topics that people might want to talk about, and it happens a lot. And they're, you know.
What do you think the issues are going to be that are brought up today?
There are a million issues. We're talking about the budget, but within the budget, there are 50 different issues. So.
Oh, it's allowed to be the
I
budget?
can't even. This is my 4th meetting, and every meeting's had a whole bunch of different issues. You know,
Anything
people are
specific to
concerned
Ithaca,
about
possibly?
cuts. People are concerned about cuts in the budget, and there are lots of different issues there. Schools, and not getting enough money for foundation aid. Health programs being consolidated, 30 health programs being consolidated into 4 pools, and then taking another 20% cut. They took a 20% cut last year. There are a million issues. Daycare is being underfunded. People have concern about quality care in nursing homes.
What are the budget
I
cuts
could give you a
attributed
whole
to?
long. We have a budget gap of, right now, projected at about $4 billion going into this budget, so.
Whoa.
But we don't have final revenue figures yet. We'll see those in the next week or so, and we may have a little different story, but we're still talking about some cuts, and I think it's really important that we have a free and open discussion about all of that.
Yeah, I can see where people would be camera shy and not want to.
You don't want to
Thank you.
people and speak.
That was a good explanation. Thank you.
Thanks very much.
All right, so we won't be filming this.
What's on your mind?
We roll?
Yeah, we're rolling.
Okay, people are going in. That was a reasonable explanation about how we shouldn't be filming in there because people might be inhibited about what's going on. Let's catch this lady right while she's eating.
Curious what's on your mind
Really
today?
Nice. Oh, Viva?
Yeah.
Viva!
Right.
I
Give a
love
shout
it.
out for
I love
Viva.
that place.
Give us energy for the day.
I do a local cable access television show, so I'm just, I thought I was going to film the whole.
This isn't live, right?
No, this isn't live.
No
That's
streaming.
not really on, right?
It is on, yeah.
Oh.
You can see
You're
that
the coolest part of the show. You don't want to talk. See, look at this. Putting some Sewell sauce on the taco or whatever it is. It's not really a taco. It's a burrito. Okay, so that kind of kills this whole piece, but I think we got some good stuff. And maybe we'll catch a few other people as they come in. Here's a guy. Here, there's a guy. A lady. Hi, town hall meeting. What do you think about it?
Good.
It's good. I guess that's it. Rolling?
Yeah, we are.
Everything you want to see for the Mr.CleanN. Oh, new name now that I'm out of the hospital. I decided to go Clean Universe. Watch. Thank you, brother.
All right, we're back. So that was a pretty cool clip. Damn, that flew. Clean Live here. Now for our next clip, since I'm not getting any calls, will be this other thing. Let me see, what do I have? What do I have? I have, a police clip that I did during the last incarnation of the show. Actually, about 1 year ago today, the International Women's Day March thing going on, and they were doing a seminar about mass incarceration. And out of that, I gleaned this one piece. I'm a little bit out of breath because I was running like a quarter of a mile, carrying the camera. I passed it off to my camera lady, like tossed it across. Lauren, just to make sure you know I'm taking care of equipment, I tossed it like 20 feet. She grabbed it in the air and started filming, and here's what resulted. Hey, want to say a few words? Hey, want to say something? All right, they're blocking the way for us. The police are doing to protect and serve. Yes!
It just says professionalism. It doesn't say to protect and serve.
Yes, it used to. Now it's just professionalism.
In quotes, as if it was sarcastic.
Oh! Wow! Yes, and then also to just like shoot people that are innocent.
Yeah.
But no, the Ithaca cops are pretty good, other than they murdered Sean Greenwood. But
Right. And Keith Shumway, and they chased Takia Harris and
we gotta get this. Wait, she's bringing up the rear. Just say a few words about this. I didn't know about these other folks.
Keith Shumway was killed in August, I think the year after Sean Greenwood was killed.
Oh my God!
He was also a person of color, probably had some mental health issues, not thoroughly investigated.
Oh my God!
And then I was in here, but Takia Harris and Corey Henderson were two African-American teens that were chased in a high-speed chase by the Ithaca Police Department that ended up in a crash where they died, and the responding officers didn't respond with help. They responded with weapons drawn to this fatal car accident.
Oh my God! Yeah, in other countries they don't even they chase people so they'll ram into other people and kill them. And other countries they just, if there's a crime going on and they start to get away, they just stop the pursuit. They can catch them 101 other different ways, right?
I don't know about how other countries do things, but I know there's been some problems with the way this city has done some things. I want to know one thing I want to know is the video footage of the Sean Greenwood murder. Pete's gas station had surveillance cameras. I would think we should be able to have access to those.
Yeah, they were all sequestered, right?
Yeah, and if we were supposed to trust the police with their body cams, that they would release their body cam footage, maybe they can show us by releasing the footage of Sean Greenwood's murder, and then maybe we could see who was actually in front of the car or not in front of.
Yeah, I did a special about that. Maybe I can revisit some of the footage where I talked to Shawnee, his cousin. They were kind of like brother and sister.
Yeah.
And when I actually first started the show, and Claire was there to Kentucky. No, you're good. And Claire was there, and she was like, I came running in and jumping. She goes, wait a minute, you're jumping. What the heck's wrong with you?
Yeah.
But I was like, no, okay, this is a serious interview. And so normally my thing is all happy and song and music and all that. So I just handed it off to my cameraman, Gordon. So maybe I'll actually include some footage from that in this special.
Great.
All right. Oh, the baby's sleepy. Kind of.
She's sleeping.
Really?
All right. Yeah. No, I don't know.
She doesn't. Sorry.
All right, we're back! So that was an interesting piece where, call in now. Come on, people, come on. Wait, where's my hand? Here, call in. Call in now. Call in now. But that was an interesting piece where, just impromptu, this lady had the information about what had happened with different police activities and stuff like that. Perhaps next week I'll show a piece from my police special that I did. I went into the SWAT van and saw what they have. It was really a nice public interest piece. They treated me with respect and it was great. They talked about what the SWAT van can do. And I got to see the doggy German Shepherd thing, and I almost took my hand off, but no, it didn't. I was able to pat. As long as the master was in control, he was very gentle. But I think as soon as he said sick 'em, then it's all over. The dog would go right for your throat. So the next clip I have is this whole thing talking about the right and left politics and how it's all a illusion to try to freak you out, man. Freak you out. Here, ready, let's watch it. Here, go.
From education to the environment, business to banking, housing to healthcare, it seems that there is no issue in the world that the industrialized Western democracies cannot reduce to a simplistic paradigm of liberal versus conservative. In fact, this point has been so hardwired into the modern political system that it has been distilled into a childlike shorthand. Political positions are left or right, blue or red. These convenient, color-coded political choices infantilize the political process, making the public little more than spectators at a sporting event, rooting for one team or another, without even having to understand the issues being debated. Nowhere has this process of simplification become so refined as it has in the United States of America, sometimes laughingly referred to as the leaders of the free world.
Our third story tonight, the Republican Party's last hope, urging America to just stay home from school.
Understanding the Democrats, that's the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo.
Governing this country with Republicans is like rooming with a meth addict.
It is a fact that every juror on the OJ case was a Democrat. Everybody blames the blacks, not me. I blame the Democrats.
Well,
This inane lowest common denominator reduction of all political thought has taken its toll on the public. Many are now unable to conceive of what a political movement that is not attached to one or the other ends of this so-called spectrum would look like. Yet, interestingly, This is precisely what has emerged in the past several years, not once, but twice, and not on one side of this left-right divide or the other, but both. In the past 5 years, we have watched the rise of two distinct movements expressing popular outrage at the political status quo in the US. Both movements decried the nexus of power that has developed in the fascistic relationship of big banks and big government. Both movements believed that the bought and paid for politicians have robbed the people of their rights and even their ability to participate in the political process. Both movements believed in mass protest as a way of effecting change in the system. And yet, we are asked to believe that these movements are not only incompatible, but diametrically opposed. According to the corporate press, the Tea Party is a fringe Republican movement that arose out of a desire to move the Republican Party further toward the hard right. Never discussed in mainstream coverage of the group is its actual origins in disgust at the Bush administration's 9/11 cover-up. The first Tea Party event was held in Boston in 2006 and involved throwing copies of the whitewashed 9/11 Commission report into Boston Harbor. The movement took off in 2008 in the wake of the Lehman Brothers collapse and the announcement of trillions of dollars of stimulus being directed into the pockets of the Wall Street banksters and their political cronies. Similarly, the Occupy Wall Street movement motivated scores of Americans to actively protest the financial oligarchy and their growing ensnarement of the political machinery of the US government for their own enrichment. People sick of being asked to tighten their belts while banks continued making record profits, backed up and bailed out by debt that the public is being asked to underwrite, drove people into the streets for mass protests and confrontations with the so-called authorities across the country. At their core, these movements sprang from remarkably similar origins: increasing public frustration with the money power dominating the American political process and the dwindling space for public engagement in that system. It did not take long at all, however, before both movements were spun into the left-right political process, with the Republicans effectively capturing the Tea Party movement and steering much of their base into an officially sanctioned Tea Party Inc. The Democrats, meanwhile, managed to ignore the Occupy Wall Street protests while the political provocateurs and change agents steered it toward cultural irrelevance. Those who have studied history should perhaps not find it surprising that the political outrage that is felt so keenly by people on all sides of the political spectrum should be controlled by spinning them off into partisan politics. Nor should they be surprised to see how effective this technique is. After all, the strategy of keeping the people pitted against each other, instead of against their oppressors, is one of the oldest political stratagems known to human civilization. The phrase divide and conquer is attributed to Julius Caesar and has been used by emperors and would-be tyrants ever since. In the Age of Empires, divide and conquer was used to keep the empire's subjects from rebelling against the emperor. The Romans used it to keep their conquered neighbors competing with each other rather than their foreign occupiers. The British used it to keep their colonies squabbling along religious, ethnic, and sectarian grounds so that the Queen and the British East India Company could more effectively exploit them. In the age of the nation-state and with the advent of republican democracy, the strategy necessarily took on a different form. The idea of a left and right wing in politics stems from the earliest days of the French Revolution, when the National Assembly divided into supporters of the king on the president's right and supporters of the revolution on his left. The notion of competing parties within the government was quickly transplanted to the American context, where supporters of Alexander Hamilton united under the Federalist Party, causing Thomas Jefferson to form the Democratic-Republican Party. The creation of political parties was greeted with uneasiness by many, including George Washington himself, who warned of the potential for despotism under such a system in his farewell address. The alternate domination of one faction over another, sharpened by the spirit of revenge, natural to party dissension, which in different ages and countries has perpetrated the most horrid enormities, is itself a frightful despotism. But this leads at length to a more formal and permanent despotism. The disorders and miseries which result gradually incline the minds of men to seek security and repose in the absolute power of an individual, and sooner or later, the chief of some prevailing faction, more able or more fortunate than his competitors, turns this disposition to the purpose of his own elevation, on the ruins of public liberty. Whatever the intentions of the original creators of the Federalist and the Democratic-Republican parties, by the 20th century the American system, supposedly the beacon of democracy for the world, had become hardwired into a two-party duopoly, the Republicans and the Democrats. This was not the result of mere happenstance, but a concerted plan to effect a divide-and-conquer strategy on the population by the moneyed interests that benefit from having the public pitted against each other. The thinking behind this two-party system that was engineered by the banking and financial interests was documented by famed Georgetown historian Carroll Quigley in his landmark work, Tragedy and Hope, published in 1966. The argument that the two parties should represent opposed ideals and policies, one perhaps of the right and the other of the left, is a foolish idea, acceptable only to the doctrinaire and academic thinkers. Instead, the two parties should be almost identical, so that the American people can throw the rascals out at any election without leading to any profound or extreme shifts in policy. Late last March, I had the chance to talk to independent news commentator Charlie McGrath of Wide Awake News about this strategy of divide and conquer, and how it functions to keep like-minded people apart on so many issues.
Well, I see it as a damning mechanism that is enslaving humanity. I mean, I see it as you and I were talking before we started the program, probably, in my opinion, the most important thing that I can do, the most important issue facing us, is the separation in our country. And it isn't just the United States, obviously, it's globally, but the ability to divide and conquer is a time-honored tactic in militaries have used, and it works just as well in a political, social, economic, theological landscape. I mean, and you know, doing this for now 4 years, seeing how polarized people are and how they're, you know, indoctrinated into one camp or another, it is how all corruption can grab a foothold and maintain course, is the fact that we fight amongst ourselves rather than look at the people or corporations that brought us here.
The situation would almost be laughable if it were not so tragic. Having been immersed in the left-right facade their entire lives, many have begun to see the world and those around them through that prism. Either someone is on the same side as they are, or they are the enemy. There is no room for nuance, no subtle distinctions to be made, no room for alliance or cooperation on matters of great import. Perhaps most devastatingly, there is now little room for any analysis of the powers behind the political throne, the oligarchical financial interests that could care less whether this or that president has a D or an R next to their name, whether a prime minister is Labour or Conservative, whether an MEP identifies with the left or the right. Deprived of this understanding of the real nature of political power, the public is truly powerless to identify the real problem at the root of today's political crisis, let alone even begin to address it. It is perhaps ironic, then, that at the end of the day, the supposedly serious commentators, analysts, and talking heads that are paraded in front of the public to comment on this system are little more than buffoons and court jesters, keeping the public entertained and distracted, while some of the most insightful political commentators of our day have been the comedians who have been bold enough to expose this system for what it really is.
You don't need a formal conspiracy when interests converge. These people went to the same universities and fraternities. They're on the same boards of directors. They're in the same country clubs. They have like interests. They don't need to call a meeting. They know what's good for them, and they're getting it. And there used to be 7 oil companies. There are now 3. It will soon be 2. The things that matter in this country have been reduced in choice. There are 2 political parties. There are a handful of insurance companies. There are about 6 or 7 information things. But if you want a bagel, there are 23 flavors because you have the illusion. You have the illusion of choice. Right. You don't get the real important choice. There's no freedom of choice. That's a great point.
All right, we're back. So that was pretty informative, huh? Anyway, now to go from the political thing that we see enough of. Now I've got a cool piece from that same mass incarceration seminar on International Women's Day last year, and it's really cool. This is the dance piece. This is the dance piece. Here we go. Oh, shit. No! Okay, it didn't work. I was supposed to advance it to the next thing. That's why I need a technician! A technician, people, please! Call in. Call in now. So I guess I just stopped this thing. Anyway, call in. Tell us what you want to see when the actual show, The Clean Universe, comes back. It'll be a variety show. This is now the live show, and it will be rebroadcast later. If I had time, I would have told you the rebroadcast times, but Lauren didn't tell me when it was going to be anyway, so it's all a moot point. But they'll be rebroadcast hopefully right in the middle of the day, in case I want to like show some risque stuff. That would be cool. Huh? Yes! Everything you want to see. It looks like I gotta let this damn thing play out. Stop. There we go. It stopped. Moving ahead. Okay, good. Good. We got the dance piece. Now, over to the dance piece. Go.
Strange fruit hanging from the poplar trees, from the poplar trees. Strange fruit hanging from the poplar trees, from the poplar trees.
Alright, you saw how cool that could have been if I would have had 20 different camera people, all from 40 different angles, and it would have been great, I tell you. So come on down, volunteer here at Pegasus. You can do your own show, but really I need people, because there's a bunch of other lame shows. But then there's my show, which is really good, and I need, like, that piece could have been much better if I had, like, a couple mobile camera people and at least 3 different angles, and then switch from camera to camera, and it would have been amazing. And it was good dance, but I had that one stationary camera, another camera person was off twiddling their thumbs or something, I don't know. But here's another piece. Oh yeah, now let's go political again. No, let's go from that same neat project that came out so well. But call in, people. Come on, where the fuck's the people, man? Call in now!
Let's get Susie. We're on the PA. What do you think about this whole thing?
Oh, it's fabulous. It's great to honor women. You know, we often take for granted that women are just there doing the things that oftentimes men don't see or notice. Women know how to make space, you know, and create movement around things. Like, next time you're in a supermarket, notice how the women move through the crowd and notice how the men move through the crowd. It's just interesting.
Yes, but I can move perfectly well.
And we all,
with
and here we
both.
are all together.
I'm in touch with my feminine side.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Remember when we danced at the Juneteenth thing?
The Juneteenth thing.
Or some kind
out
of
in the
thing.
street?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Oh,
yeah,
but
lots
anyway,
of dance.
continue. I started to interrupt your train of thought.
No, so this is fabulous, and look at what we're coming together for. You know, the issue around women being incarcerated, often because they're poor, they are lacking in skills. No one is no one.
Okay, we got hit it. All right, we're going.
God, love your hair.
Sorry, folks. We're going with the shotgun mic because we were interrupting with the PA system. All right, finish your thought.
So I mean, you know, women, not that they don't have skills, but their skills aren't known, or they don't realize that what they know how to do is a skill. And so a lot of times, women coming from poverty, perhaps in a struggling situation, growing up in a struggling situation, and then becoming adults and not knowing where to go or how to fit in. So this is where we all need to offer support to young women coming out onto their own. How do they do it? They don't know. We need to help them with a resume. We need to help them recognize what skills they have. We need to help them go to training or community college and gain skills.
Yeah.
That's what we need to do. Thank you, darling. Good to see you.
Yes, good to see you. And also volunteer for the
mentor-student program. Yeah, I coordinate the mentor-student program here in Tompkins County at Cooperative Extension. So you can call Cornell Cooperative Extension actually, you can call me 275-6250. I'm Susie Kosak, and just get some more information about our one-on-one mentor-student program. This is how you make a difference. You start working with a 6th grader. You help them realize what skills they have and help them uncover talents they don't know about yet.
I was involved with it, and it was excellent. It was very fulfilling, and it was great. Now the thing starts, and we can cut to the other camera.
Yes! Cut to the other camera. This one. No, there's a whole actually I got a 3-hour piece out of that whole thing. We had a march, we had everything. So now up next we're down to like 16 minutes. So let's go, since this is really intense in the political spectrum today about gun control. Let's hear from a couple different people. Ready? Go. Oh, shit. I got it. Okay. Boom. Go.
It's an issue you know I care passionately about. So here is my position, loud and clear. I'm in favour of a nationwide ban on military-style semi-automatic assault weapons and high-capacity magazines. I want to close the gun show loopholes and require private dealers to run background checks on buyers at gun shows. And I'd like to see the President increase federal funding for mental health treatment for all Americans who need it. I think these are entirely reasonable reactions to the outrages that have occurred in America over the last few months. But tonight, I'll go head-to-head with a man who actually wants to deport me for having these very views. And over 104,000 Americans apparently agree with him. That's coming up.
Pierce, I can't say how much I agree with your opinion and what you've stated previously. I appreciate you having your First Amendment right, and I am glad you're speaking out, because that's exactly what we need.
Anyone who's watched this show over the past few weeks knows I've taken a pretty strong stand on guns in America. It's not escaped the notice of supporters of gun rights, and it's led to a petition on the White House official website, no less. It's entitled, and I quote, "Deport British citizen Piers Morgan for attacking Second Amendment." Take a look. More than 104,000 people have signed it so far. And joining me now is one of the people behind the petition, Alex Jones. He's host of the Alex Jones Show. Welcome to you.
Piers, thanks for having me.
Why do you want to deport me?
Well, we did it as a way to bring attention to the fact that we have all of these foreigners, and the Russian government, the official Chinese government. Mao said political power goes out of the barrel of a gun. He killed about 80 million people because he's the only guy that had the guns. So we did it to point out that this is globalism, and the mega banks that control the planet and brag that they've taken over, in Bloomberg, AP, Reuters, you name it, brag that they're going to get our guns as well. They've taken everybody's guns but the Swiss and the American people. And when they get our guns, they can have their world tyranny, while the government buys 1.6 billion bullets, armored vehicles, tanks, helicopters, Predator drones, armed, now in U.S. skies, being used to arrest people in North Dakota. The Second Amendment isn't there for duck hunting. It's there to protect us from tyrannical government and street thugs. Take the women in India. Your piece earlier on CNN I was watching during Anderson Cooper's show didn't tell you that the women of India have signed giant petitions to get firearms because the police can't and won't protect them. The answer is, hey, wait a minute, I have FBI crime statistics that come out a year late, 2011. 20+% crime drop in the last 9 years. Real violent crime, because more guns means less crime. Britain took the guns 15, 16 years ago, tripling of your overall violent crime. True, we have a higher gun violence level, but overall muggings, stabbings, deaths, those men raped that woman in India to death with an iron rod 4 feet long. You can't ban the iron rods. The guns, the iron rods, Pierce, didn't do it. The tyrants did it. Hitler took the guns. Stalin took the guns. Mao took the guns. Fidel Castro took the guns. Hugo Chavez took the guns. And I'm here to tell you, 1776 will commence again if you try to take our firearms. Doesn't matter how many lemmings you get out there on the street begging for them to have their guns taken. We will not relinquish them. Do you understand? That's why you're going to fail, and the establishment knows no matter how much propaganda, the Republic will rise again when you attempt to take our guns. My family in the Texas Revolution against Santa Anna, my family was at the core on both sides starting that, because Santa Anna came to take the guns at Gonzales, Texas. Pierce, don't try what your ancestors did before. Why don't you come to America? I'll take you out shooting. You can become an American and join the Republic.
You finished?
Yes, I am finished. You will not take my right. You go through background checks to get guns. How about Prozac? You know the number one, oh, that's the big sponsor, isn't it? Or that whole class of drugs.
Let me ask you a question.
Oh, got to cut that off, don't you? Don't want to talk about the U.S. number one cause of death is suicide now, because they give people suicide mass murder pills.
Calm down.
Your answer is give more money to the psychiatrists and psychologists to put more crazy people on drugs that make them kill people, Pierce.
Let's try and have a debate here.
Yeah.
Answer me this question.
I'm sick of the same old script here, bud.
It's fine, bud. How many gun murders were there in America last year? Do you know?
There were about 11,458, and about 74% of those were gang-related, gangbangers shooting each other. You get 3,500 to 4,000.
That wasn't the
How
question.
many people died from infections in hospitals? 197,000.
Let me just ask you a second.
That's right.
How many gun murders were there in Britain?
How many great white sharks?
No, how many
kill people every year, but they're scared to swim?
Right. How many gun murders were there in Britain?
A very low amount. I already went over those statistics.
Many, do you know?
It was only a few hundred.
No. How many gun murders?
I actually did pull up the statistics. Here, let me pull them out right here. I figured you'd do that.
Gun murders
Oh,
in
wait.
Britain last year.
UK violent crime, capital of Europe. London Telegraph. Here, let me give you more.
It's quite a simple question.
Well, that's the oldest.
You're a very loud man.
No, that's the oldest
You make a
Perry
lot of
Mason
noise.
tactic to ask me some little factoid.
It's not a little factoid.
I already said earlier,
We're talking about
England
a
has a
country.
lot lower gun crime rate because you took all the guns.
Let me try exactly my
But you've got hordes of people burning down cities and beating old women's brains out every day.
What a ridiculous
They arrest people in England if they defend themselves. That's on record. My God, you've got a total police state. Everybody's fleeing that country because you've had to flee here, bud. Why don't you tell folks? Yeah, you fled here. Why don't you go back and face the charges for the hacking scandal?
Answer this question. How many
Why'd you get fired from the Daily Mirror for putting out fake stories? You're a hatchet man of the New World Order. Okay. You're a hatchet man. And I want to say this right here. You think you're a tough guy? Have me back with a boxing ring in here, and I'll wear red, white, and blue, and you can wear your Jolly Roger.
Okay.
You know what?
Let's try again. How many gun murders were there?
Oh, you're going to ban your fist now?
In Britain last year.
How many chimpanzees can dance on the head of a pin? I already went over those statistics.
Do you know the answer?
No, I don't.
You said hundreds.
It's very low.
You said hundreds.
Yes.
It's actually 35.
Well, the point is you can...
Against 11,000. Do you understand the difference between 11,000
Yeah, England
and
wants
35?
to ban knives now because tens of thousands are getting stabbed.
But do you understand
ban
the
knives?
difference?
The knife doesn't kill people.
Do you
The gun
understand?
doesn't kill people.
Yes.
Listen, do you understand
between 35
you're not going to pull on America's
and 11,000?
heartstrings? They know your script, okay? You're not going to get our guns. By the way, you guys always say, we just want to take the semi-autos, okay, and all this other stuff when semi-autos aren't even, rifles aren't even used but in a fraction of the crimes. You can pull those numbers up, okay? No, hold on.
Let me ask you one question. Which weapon was predominantly used in the Aurora movie theatre shooting?
M4 AR-15 variants.
So it was a semi-automatic assault rifle.
Again.
Okay,
But
next
statistically,
question.
it's very, very low.
That was. Do you agree it was the single biggest shooting in the history of America in terms of people hit by a shooter? Do you know that?
No, I believe that there were others. There's been some other shootings with about over 30.
No, this was the single biggest mass shooting.
Well, listen, you're just going. No, there have been bombings of Wall Street.
Let me ask you a second question.
Are we going to listen? Why can't the pilots have firearms? We trust them to fly the planes.
Alex, you've had a lot to say.
No,
Just
my
answer
point
this
is the
question.
Second Amendment is sacrosanct, and you're not getting it.
Do you know which weapon was used in the Oregon shopping mall mass shooting recently?
I understand that people who are mentally ill on all the serotonin reuptake inhibitors who play these shoot-'em-up games want to go out and do this. Because there's criminals, I don't lose my rights, Pierce. Because there's criminals, I don't lose my rights.
Just answer the question.
Yeah.
Do you know what the weapon used was?
Listen, let me ask you a question.
No, answer.
I've got the FBI statistics that, that these so-called semi-autos that you talk about.
Let's take a break. When we come back.
Again, you're not going to get our guns.
When we come back, try and answer my question.
Yeah, all you're going to do is sit there and play little factoid questions. Overall crime's gone up over 20%. More.
Back now with Alex Jones. A man says I should be deported for my stand on guns. So, Alex, here's how this is going to work, and it's entirely down to you. I'm going to ask you some questions. In the spirit of a proper debate, and you've had a lot to say so far on the show, and a lot of it aimed at me, which is fine. But I want you to try and answer the questions. It's a proper debate, okay? I'm not trying to trip you up.
No, it's not a debate. You're running the show. You bring in your victims up front.
Actually, no.
Look, you got your little note cards. Yeah, okay. I just gave you FBI statistics that violent crime and gun crime is down over 20%.
Alex, let me just ask you
and
this.
you want to go to little factoids.
No, they're not little
Anybody
factoids.
can pull those up. Listen.
Do you know what...
Do you have a bodyguard?
Alex.
Why do you have bodyguards?
I don't have a bodyguard.
Yeah, I've seen you on the news with them. Don't you want to protect your wife from hoodlums, or you want to call the police?
Let me ask you this question.
Why does Dianne Feinstein tell 60 Minutes that she plans to try to take Mr. and Mrs. America's guns?
Stop talking over me.
You guys want to disarm all of America.
No, I don't.
Dianne Feinstein's bill does gun confiscation.
No, let me clarify for you. You don't seem to understand
First you register, then you confiscate. It's always done the same.
Here's what the campaign on this
Well, here,
show
give me your little cue cards and I'll answer your questions for you.
What was the weapon used at Sandy Hook?
I've already gone over that and already answered it for you.
We haven't talked about Sandy Hook.
No, again,
what was the weapon?
It's a 223 M4.
Right.
Again, but statistically, they're using very low percentage of shootings, period.
Are you seeing,
you guys,
people
wouldn't go swimming because the movie Jaws, even though great white sharks kill 5 people a year. You're trying to scare people.
Let me say something.
There's no metal shark in the water.
The same type of weapon was used in the last 3 mass shootings.
And Hitler used semi-autos to kill people.
Why would you
and
not?
So did Mao.
Why would you?
Why is the government arming to the teeth against us?
Alex, I don't
What about Fast and Furious?
Alex,
why did our government ship guns into Mexico?
Alex.
To blame the Second Amendment?
Let's have a debate.
A false flag?
Alex.
To blame the Second Amendment?
I get accused.
Why'd they blow up Building 7 down the street here in New York?
I get accused when I get you guys on of talking over you, of being rude. I'm trying to be civil, right? You've got to try and answer some of the questions, right? Here's my issue for you. Why do people civilians need an AR-15 type assault rifle? Why do you
already said statistically they're used in a very low amount of the crimes. That's an FBI fact.
They've been used in the last 3 mass shootings.
Yes.
Why do
I'll tell you why.
them?
Because they advertise it in the media. Anybody knows that if somebody jumps off the Empire State Building, they put cops up there the next day because copycats come to do it again. The media hypes and hypes and hypes.
No, that's not the question.
Don't just commit suicide.
Alex, why do people
Go commit suicide by killing a bunch of kids, and here's the gun to use because it's the one the U.S. Army uses.
Why do people need them?
They need them to protect us from the #1 killer in history. Government in the 20th century, university study out of Hawaii killed 292 million people. It's called democide. Google it, folks.
Do you believe everyone in America, should everyone in America, therefore, have an AR-15 if they want one?
Statistically, where there's more guns, there's lower crime. The highest crime is in Bloomberg,
But you have the most
controlled
guns
areas.
of any of the 23 richest countries in the world, and you have
Well, America was born on guns and whiskey.
Right. But
it's true we're a violent society.
Right. So you
but
accept that America has the most
knives
guns
kill
and the
3
most gun
times more.
murders.
Have you seen the FBI numbers? Knives, bats, rocks kill many times more.
Alex, let's talk about the guns.
It's not the rock. It's not the knife. When a mother chops her kids up with a cleaver because she's on serotonin.
Tell me why I'm wrong.
Why don't you want to get rid of the
AR-15s?
drugs? Because they're half your sponsors?
No, stick to the subject.
America's #1 cause of unnatural death now is suicide.
Okay. Alex,
not automobile accident, not cancer, not...
You accuse me of attacking the Second Amendment of the Constitution.
I want to get people off pills that the insert says will make you commit suicide and kill people.
Alex, let's get about to the Second Amendment.
I want to blame the real culprit. Suicide pills. Mass murder pills.
Okay, let me ask you one question. Your belief, unless I'm wrong...
First time anybody's ever heard this, by the way.
Your belief, unless I'm wrong, is that under the Second Amendment, your real concern is that you will be overrun by a tyrannical regime, either from somewhere else or
highway
from your own government.
checkpoints. Look at Mexico. Total gun ban for the citizens. Highest crime rate in the world. 57,000 people dead the last 5 years. Total gun ban for the citizens.
But
Switzerland has the lowest crime rate in Europe. Your country has the highest.
Alex, we have 35 gun murders a year. You have 11,000.
You people get their brains. It's the higher crime rate.
Let me ask
Violent crime is higher.
On this specific...
It's brains.
Alex,
it's people.
I'm trying to get inside your brains.
Pierce,
it's
if
not
you punched me
very
right
easy.
now, it'd be not your fist, but your brain that did it.
Let me get inside your brain.
Okay.
Okay? I'm serious. You have a very, very big platform. You air, I think, on 63 networks.
No, that Wikipedia is like 10 years old. I'm on over 140 stations. XM.
Millions of Americans hear you.
Over 1.5 million
day.
visitors to Infowars.com
And I
today.
congratulate
where we have
you on
the
your
statistics
audience.
posted right now. Infowars.com.
Who do you believe was behind 9/11?
Oh, I absolutely know. I have the police on CNN saying, get back, they're going to blow up 7. I have BBC reporting.
Who do you believe is behind
I have the proof. I heard them on CBS Radio.
Who, Alex?
They announced they blew up the towers on CBS Radio. New Yorkers all saw it and heard it.
Alex, who do you believe?
They blew up Building 7.
Alex, who do you believe was behind it? The American government?
Criminal elements of the military-industrial complex, the same ones that staged Gulf of Tonkin, the same ones that staged Operation, the mass shootings of Operation Gladio.
Right.
Ooh, the CIA don't like this now.
Do you mean that President Bush and his administration were behind 9/11?
I mean that even mainstream news reported that the hijackers were ordered to be allowed into the United States. Michael Springman, the head of the visa department, blew the whistle on that.
So the Bush administration was part of a conspiracy
he said never let us tolerate
to murder
I can speak in this accent as well.
Yeah.
The
but is that what you
government,
believe?
Hitler firebombed his own Reichstag, Pierce, to bring in martial law in Germany, April 27th, 1933. Governments have staged terror attacks throughout history or allowed terrorists to attack as a pretext to invade and enslave the populations. I probably own more than 50 firearms. Many of them have increased in value 2, 3, or even 4 times. I sleep very comfortably outside Austin, Texas, knowing that I can defend my family.
Okay, Alex Jones. This is
Infowars.com.
This is the man who wants to deport me from the country for wanting to get rid of
it's
assault
to
rifles,
point out you're a foreigner, a red coat, here telling us what to do.
Whatever.
Go back to where they took the guns if you don't like it. The communist...
All right, we're back. I think we're almost off the air. That was pretty intense. Call in next week. Come on, people. Here, take down the number for next week and call in and be ready. All right, chest hair. Clean Live. The Clean Universe will be coming back soon. And it's going to be amazing, I tell you. We're going to have song, dance, interviews with people around town mid-July. No, mid-July. What the hell am I saying? Mid-April, May. Mid-May, we're going to have Kurt Riley. Kurt Riley, the second coolest Ithacan. I, of course, being the first. Kurt Riley. Mid-July or August or something. No, it's May. April, May. 30 days past September, April, June, and November. All the rest have 31 except for February, which we just passed. I wonder when leap year is. Anyway, call in next week. I guess that's it. Let's, come on, the clocks are all fucked up in here. What, it's past 9, according to this clock. Call in. Call in next week. Or I'm going to go out and, start dragging people in and, forcing their hand to the phone and making them call. I'm getting out my AR-15. I tell ya, call! Next week, everything you want to see for the Mr. Clean Show. Clean Universe. Clean Live. Pretty soon I'll be on all networks, 24/7. No more lame shows, just me. Come on, it's 9:03. What the hell is wrong with this place? Let's get some clocks that actually work. Come on people, clocks that work. Call next week. Clean Live. Yes, I tell you, call!